Denise here, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share a card using this mechanism. It's a pop-up cards 5x7 mechanism die set by Made to Surprise. I've had this in my stash really quite some time and I've never used it. So I thought now is the time to get it out. So you get 3 dies in it. This is the main die set. So I've cut this out from card once, but I've also cut it out of this paper pack. Again, a Made to Surprise paper pack. And it's the scenes paper, and I have used the hot air balloon one, which is that one, but there are some others. There's some nice ones in there, so nice background papers for any scenes you wish to make. So I'm using that, and I've, as I say, I've cut the card out once in this and then once in the paper. This is the piece for at the bottom, and again I've cut it in card, and I'm going to put some of the other paper over here as well for the scene. So I've cut that once, and this is our pull tab. Let me just find what I've done with that. There it is. So this is our pull tab, and I've cut that twice just to give it some strength. I've used 300 GSM paper, and as I say, I've cut it twice, stuck them together, so we've got some strength with that. So that is the die set I'm using. I'm also using these. This was part of the first ever sets that Made to Surprise did, that Sam did, and I got, there's 4 dies in there, all to do with flight, and I got the matching stamp set as well. So there was some nice stamps in here. All the stamps for the flight, these were the dies that came to cut these out, so you don't have to fussy cut them. And then we've got like birds and clouds, and also sentiments all about flying high, always knew you would fly, flying by just to say hi, birthday wishes. So it was a nice set, and as I said, I've had this in my stash quite some time. So from here I've used this balloon stamp and used the die set as well. And let me pop that back into there and put them away. And then I'm also using this set, which is the Changing Faces icon stamp and die set. So this is the Changing Faces set. You get dies to make different faces, and these dies are additions. So we've got hats for the faces, glasses, and then we've got books and things and a pillow, all sorts of things that you could make with this. So if you, I'll leave the link to Sam's channel in the description box below, and you could go back and have a look what she's done with them, and then you get some stamps as well. So for here I've used the bench and the tree, so those are the ones I'm using for my make. So let's first of all get my card out, and I've got a piece of card that measures 10 by 7, and I've scored it at 5, so that gives me a 5 by 7 card. And as I said previously, I took that first plate, and I've cut it in card and then cut some of the paper in it to give my background. So then with the pull, we need to put that through that one and out the other side. If I can get that in. Always a bit difficult to start with, but then it will move. So there we are. So that is our pull, and we will put that onto there, but I'm going to put that on with some foam tape on, foam tabs on there. So let me get that done. So I'm going to put my tape on here. That's my scissors. We do need to be careful where we're putting our tape because we don't want to hinder the mechanism. So leave space around for there. So there we are. I've got my tape on. As I said, make sure you don't hinder the mechanism. Take that release paper off. So I'm just going to pop some more glue on here. Oh, done exactly what I said not to do. Getting carried away. So there we are. So I just need to center that on the card. So it just gives us that nice border around. And as I say, our pulley will pull up. We can see that. So that's that on there. So as I said, for this next piece, which is going to go here, I've got my paper. So I'm just going to put some glue on here. Use my Collall because I'm putting paper on top. I don't want it to warp, and as this is a water it's not a water-based ink, it won't. So I want to get my, I'm going to center it there, and then I will just cut off the excess around that piece of card. So there we are. I've taken all that off around there. So let's bring this card in. As I say, we are going to sit it on there, and again we're going to put it on foam. But first of all, I need to put my hot air balloon, because this is what's going to pop up here. And I'm going to stick it on the bottom. The nearest you get to the bottom, the better, because then you will see it. That's going to act as your stopper when it gets to the top. So you want to see how far it is going to come out from your card. So I know I want to stick that on there, and for that I'm going to use some red liner tape. Put a little piece of red liner tape just on here, and that will make sure I've not got any tape hanging over there to impede the mechanism. So I'll just take the topping off I do have difficulty getting, I don't know what it is with this batch of red liner tape I've bought, but getting the release off it has been dreadful. Right, there we are. Taking the release off, and then I'm just going to centre that in there, make sure that purchases, and then that stops there and down to there. So the next thing we're going to do is pop this on here. Obviously as well, you want to make sure it doesn't shoot out the bottom of whatever you've got. If you do feel you need to cut a little bit off the tab, just make sure that you do. So let's just pop that up to there. That is going on the top. So again, we need to leave space around here for the mechanism to go up and down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my tape along the edge. I'll pop my collal on. So make sure you level it over there. Pop that onto there, and then we have our hot air balloon coming up. Just realised it's catching on some paper there. Just rip that off. I think it's just the paper where I've cut it. It's just catching as I'm pulling it up there. That's better. So you've just got to make sure as well. That's it. It's moving freely now. So let's just get some of this rubbish put away, and I'll come back and show you how I'm decorating it. So now I'm just ready to put my decoration on. I've put a pull. I found an old Papercraft Society box, again by Made to Surprise, and there was the pull stamp on there. So I've just popped it onto the top. So I'm going to just run some glue around the bench. I've just coloured it in with my alcohol markers, and I'm going to glue this straight down onto the front of the card. So that is there. So I've ground that down there, like the bushes are behind it. And I've coloured the tree in, and I've put this onto foam pads. I say this mechanism is really, really good, to be fair, and with the changing faces, because if you want, I mean, you can put anything onto that tab, and you could, if you've got like this bench here, you could have a face on the tab, pull it up, and somebody looking over like a wall. You could put this as a wall and a bench in front. I just wanted to do it like it was in a parkland with the balloons flying above. So, or in like a garden with the balloons flying above there. So I'll just pop another little bead of glue. Oh, I don't think I took that. Oh, I did take that off. So that I'm just going to pop at the side of here, just making sure it's not, the tree isn't going over the card. And then lastly, oh, I've forgotten about my clouds from one of the papers in the pack. There is one with clouds on it, so I've just fussy cut some clouds out to put onto the paper, so onto the back. So I'm just going to put that up to the end there, just making sure that my balloon isn't going to be anywhere near there, because I don't want it the balloon to catch on anything, because this is quite a thicker, because I put the paper onto card, it's quite thick, so just make sure it's not going to catch on the balloon. So I've popped that on there, and there we are. The balloon is coming up over them. And then from this set where I've got the balloons, there were some birds, so I've just got my ink and I'm just going to put a couple of birds flying around. Just get that out of the way, because I know I'll get caught in it. Let's see where that's going to go. And then I just may put a little one down here and there. And then it would leave me space, if I wanted to put a sentiment perhaps here. So that is my card, the finished card. I'm quite happy with how that looks. And then we just pull that up and another balloon appears. And as I say, I've left space here because I want to put a sentiment on there. I may put something on here, perhaps find a print of a little bird so I can sit it on the bench or something. But as I say, that is the finished article. And then you've got your card and it just stands up. As normal, I will do something in the centre. But I hope you like that. I hope it's given you an idea. As I say, I've had this pull mechanism quite some time and not used it, so I thought now was the time to give it a go, have a play. But there are so many things you can do with it, and you don't have to have it pulling up. You can have it on the side, pulling something along the side, a racing car, racing bike or whatever. So I'm quite pleased with how that's turned out. So I hope you like it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Okay, I'll leave it there. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.